Guys, we're on the tour bus of Trivium at the moment. Big thrill. I'm joined by none other than Corey from the band. Hi, Corey.
Hello.
Excellent stuff. How are you doing, my friend? Are you okay?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, good to see you. It's a good tour you're on at the moment, isn't it? With Kill Switch and Battlecross and Miss May I. Excellent lineup. How's it been going? Okay?
It's been great. 2 shows in. Tonight will be the 3rd, so everything's good so far.
Yeah, you played Brixton last night, was it?
Yep.
Good show?
It was amazing.
Energy.
Sold out, so
Yeah.
Crowd was amazing. We filmed it.
Oh, right, nice one.
So Killswitch and us, we both filmed. The same company came out and filmed both our shows. So hopefully, possibly might put it out as like a live DVD at some point.
Awesome.
Look into it. Get asked it a lot, but we have got the footage, had the the cool stage production, all that stuff. So hopefully everything turns out really well that we can put it out, because fans seem to really want like live DVD stuff.
Good. So you've across London last night. You're in the provinces now, so to speak, in Newcastle. It's a place that you've played many times before. You've been here before at the O2. Always a good gig. It's a very rock and roll city, is Newcastle. Are you ready for tonight? Pumped up, ready to go?
All right, ready to go every night. Yeah. Played this venue quite a few times. Played Newcastle pretty much almost. Seems like every time we've toured in the UK, we've played here. So done a lot of shows here. So it's everywhere you go, we have a lot of great fans. So Newcastle, just like everywhere else, expecting a rowdy, fun crowd.
Yeah. Do you find the UK audiences to be any different from anywhere else in the world, or are they pretty much the same as anywhere else?
Back when we first started touring, we, as a new band, we toured a lot in the U.S. Just because it's doesn't cost as much money to tour. But we did a lot of touring in the U.S. and then the U.K. was the first. After Ascendancy came out, the U.K. was the first, I guess, besides Canada, because we play Canada when we do like North American tours. So outside of the U.S. UK was the first place that we played once Ascendancy came out, and the crowds were, it was pretty kind of took us back. It was like pretty shocking, just like the amount of people that knew us, and just the shows were amazing. But 10 years into touring and all that stuff, definitely we've worldwide, just usually it's kind of transformed into no matter where we go, if they're Trivium fans, they usually kind of have the same reaction and kind of give out the same type of energy. Certain cities and certain places are definitely a little bit more brutal on each other in the pit, but as far as singing along and just like we like to look out and see people like big smiles on their faces and not like a broken nose or something. So it's been really good. The UK has treated us very well over the years, so we always expect every time we come here we're gonna have an awesome time and packed shows. So
cool. How does it feel a decade on from when you first started to do it? Do you still get that same buzz, that same sort of energy of it?
Well, it's still fun. It
Yeah.
gets better when the more people know who you are.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
So,
gotcha, wasn't it? Yeah. Vengeance Falls was the last album that you guys put out. Excellent album. Well received again, obviously. Pleased with the way it's been received, the way that it turned out, yeah?
Yeah, we love the record. I think it's definitely my favorite production as far as the mix and everything. It just sounds really, really big. The songs just just the way they were written, the mindset they were written in, they're really big songs to play live, as far as just like the way they're constructed, just like the whole rhythm of the songs and stuff. They just kind of sound really big live, because we're not trying to play 100 miles an hour all the time. There's like a groove to them that in the live setting, when you're playing in a big hall or something like that, they can breathe, and the sound moves instead of everything going over someone's head by playing like 200 BPM and not being able to understand. So the songs are really fun to play live, and ever since we started playing new stuff live, even before the record came out, they'd always gotten an amazing reaction from the fans, as far as the energy of people might not even seeing us play live might be the first time they heard it, because we started playing Strife before we even put it out online, and the first time we played it there was like big circle pits and stuff like that. So it was like people just kind of like naturally had a good reaction to it. So now the record's been out for a while, we've started playing some extra songs from the record, and just they're just a lot of fun to play, and they're really good sing-along songs. So you look out in the crowd and you just see everyone's I can't hear them because of the in-ear monitors, but I see a lot of jaws moving, and it looks like they're singing the words.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously your last album is going to be your favourite album because it's new, it's fresh, but are these songs translating well into the live arena? Have you?
Yeah, they fit really well. With all our records, we've kind of always, each record's kind of different, and it's has its own thing going on. But playing live, you can really see how, even though each record's kind of different from each other in certain ways, once you combine them all together, we play like a new song, and then we play a song from like Ascendancy, and then we play like another new song, and then there's something from In Waves, and just transitioning from song to song from different records, they'll tend to, I guess, when we play them live, it just sounds like just Trivium songs.
Cool, yeah.
Even when we play something from Shogun, and then we play like a seven string song from the Crusade, and you kind of just at a certain point you just kind of like forget, well, that's from this record and that's from that record. It's just kind of like a bunch of songs that just kind of all kind of seem to work off each other, and having a pretty good back catalog at this point, and having a lot of variety in our songs, it makes playing songs back to back or whatever, like it doesn't, they're very distinct to each other, so everything kind of stands on its own. There's not like anything where it's just like you play like 3 songs in a row and it all kind of starts becoming a blur. Like everything's got kind of stands out from each other. So it's cool because we can use the dynamics of the records to kind of make the set list flow in a cool way, and instead of just going 100 miles an hour for 60 minutes.
Wait a minute, you've got a bunch of fantastic songs, from the career so far. How does the process go for actually choosing a set list for a trip like this?
It's usually pretty simple. There's obviously certain songs that are kind of like the staples that you can't really get away with not playing. Yeah, so just over the years of touring, you kind of see from each record, playing, In Waves, I think it was pretty much the most amount of shows we did for an album. I think we did over like 300 something shows for that record, and you could, just playing so many shows and playing different songs and rotating songs around, you kind of see what songs kind of get the biggest reactions from fans, and you just kind of know which songs kind of work really good live, or translate the best live, so we just kind of know what songs we have to play, and then depending on how long the set is, then we can kind of get creative with, well, last time we went here, we played these songs, so let's take these ones out and find something different to play, because we pretty fortunate to have a lot of really really diehard fans that every time we come, they're there, or they come to multiple shows. So we always kind of like to keep in the back of mind that people that come to see us so many times, we want to surprise them with something that they haven't seen, or play something we haven't played in a long time. So we always kind of have a kind of powwow, and even on tour sometimes we'll just be talking like, yeah, maybe the next time we tour we should think about doing this song, and kind of plants a seed in everyone's head. Like with Shogun, we been hammered with requests for that song since that album came out. We never played it until last summer or whatever, and we were just in rehearsals because I was trying to convince everyone to play a different song from that record that we've never done. And I was always just kind of like poking at them, just like, yeah, we should try this song. And everyone was kind of learning it, and I think while they were learning it, they might have possibly, I think some folks couldn't remember how to play something. They're like, why don't we just play Shogun instead? And I'm like, really? All right. So we jammed it in rehearsals, and once we started rehearsing it, we were like, oh, this song's pretty fun to play, and didn't tell anybody. We just kind of surprised everyone and played it, and everyone's really stoked. And even though the song's like 12 minutes long, we're kind of stuck at the point where we can't really take that song out of the set, because we start playing it in one country, and then people are like we're after this tour we go to Australia, and everyone's expecting us to take it out because it's a festival show, and then other people email us and if you don't play Shogun, I'll be pissed. And it's like, God damn it. So stuff like that happens, but yeah, it's, you know, we kind of have like the singles from the new record that come out, and then we kind of just, you know, just talk about what songs, like for new stuff that we want to play that would fit in the set. So we try to, you know, we're always hopeful that, you know, when we start touring for record, at some point we'll be able to play every song off the record at some point in the tour cycle, and then most of the time it doesn't happen, but
it's nice to throw a curveball in though every so often, though, I suppose, you know, keep people on the
yeah,
tour,
the new songs,
catch
you know,
people.
we added in, you know, 2 more new songs into the set that, one's, you know, really fun to play because it's got a different vibe, and it's one of my favorite songs on the record, and the other one's kind of fun to play. It's just a really hard song to play, especially early in the set, because, you know, it's a really, really hard, you know, picking song. And especially yesterday at Brixton, it was like super hot in our dressing room. We were like warming up, and it was like, all right, tonight we're gonna, you know, it's gonna be awesome. And then you get side stage waiting to go on, it's like fucking like 20 degrees, and you go on stage with your hands are frozen, and you're like, God damn, I gotta play that song now. So yeah, that one's kind of like the I guess the challenge to kind of get on stage. You're kind of thrown to the fire with, you know, not starting off with a simple strumming song. It's like you're going full bore.
Played to impress, yeah, absolutely, yeah. We're of the opinion that Strife is probably our favourite track off the new album. Do you have a particular favourite from the album?
I definitely love Strife. Through Blood, Dirt and Bones, another one of my favorites, and probably another. I really like Wake a lot, and but you know, kind of those have been my 3 go-tos, and then I kind of like will randomly just start being into another song that I haven't heard in a while. But I don't really ever listen to the record on tour. Every once in a while, when I'm like sitting around at home and we're on break, I'll just kind of like go on like Spotify and just start randomly clicking through like all the records and listening to songs, kind of like getting a, you know, kind of see which songs pique my interest as far as like thinking of songs to play on tour. So I'll kind of listen through some tracks that we don't play that often or haven't played in a while, and just kind of seem like, yeah, that song's really cool. You know, we haven't done that in a while, and then kind of bring it up to everyone else. So kind of more like just in like downtime, I'll kind of like listen to stuff from the other records or the new records just kind of like a friendly reminder to myself of how everything goes.
That must be really cool, you know. I could be sat at home, I think, yeah, I'll go on Spotify, I'll listen to some Trivium stuff, and then there's Corey. I'll go on Spotify, I've listened to some of my songs.
Well, I'm paying for the account, I can, you know, listen to my own songs on there, I can at least make a little back.
Absolutely.
Can I just say, I think the new album's very melodic. It's a lot different from your debut. Is that the sort of road you're going to be going down for the next album as well?
You know, we kind of have gotten to a point where, you know, the older style with a lot of like the screaming and then singing and then screaming again. It kind of, you know, for us, it just kind of became a little too like cookie cutter, formulaic in a way, because so many bands, like, it was really good for that time period because that was like the new thing, but a lot of those bands have progressed into something more. And a lot of the whole reason, you know, I'm pretty sure this has been said a million times back in the day, but you know, Matt started screaming because he wasn't that good of a singer yet. So
he's brilliant.
We've kind of over the years of, you know, everyone's just gotten better as musicians and stuff, and there's just so much more that we want to do with our music and screaming kind of, you know, it's really cool for impact moments and backing stuff up, but I've never really been, you know, wanting to write music with, you know, the majority of the vocals being scream. I like melody, and even if it's heavy, you know, you can still have hooks and be aggressive, but you can be audible at the same time. So
absolutely,
it kind of progressed, you know, it kind of ever since, like, you know, Shogun had like a mix of a lot more singing, but there's screaming parts, and then In Waves was kind of a mixture, you know, had all scream songs in there, and then a lot of the all singing stuff. And just being on tour for that record, the biggest reactions we got from, you know, the songs from that record were the ones that were, you know, all sung and had more, it was more groove oriented and kind of had a you know, pulse to it. And it was just kind of the thing we wanted to, you know, Matt really wanted to, you know, push the vocals,
right?
And I think a lot of stuff, listening to the record, you know, there's always going to be that majority or small majority of fans that are so into the screaming element of it that if there's no screaming, there's like, what the fuck? But there's still a lot of screaming on the record.
There
if you
is,
actually pay attention.
It's just more melodic. I noticed that.
And I just think it's like just listening to the record. After it's like said and done, it's like I listen to it. I'm just like, well, if this section of this song like was just screaming, I was like, this song wouldn't have as much character and flavor to it, because the vocals add a lot to what's going on, and just screaming there wouldn't be that extra hook
adds more depth to it, doesn't it? That's basically
it's just a thing. Growing up, the bands that got us into metal were all I didn't the first band I didn't get into was like screaming and all that stuff. It was very classic metal stuff. So always like the aggression, but I like the singing element of the metal side of things. So I was really, really stoked, because I'd rather just play guitar on stage instead of being stuck in a microphone. So the less screaming parts, the more I can just kind of like do other stuff and and play. So really like how the newer material, and we already started like working on ideas for new music. We got a lot of musical ideas, haven't really got to the vocal thing. Matt has a song that he wrote that he has like full vocals for, and it's he kind of found an interesting new voice that's singing but got a kind of a scream-ish. It's really interesting, but we're like, wow, that's different. Where the fuck that come from?
Experimental.
But so we're already starting to work on stuff, and then I think we definitely like kind of like having because we had problems in the past like with having so much screaming stuff that early on Matt had a lot of vocal problems with his throat and everything like that, and the fact that now he's just predominantly singing most of the time. He doesn't really ever.
So he's not straining.
Yeah, it's like it helps like the longevity of your singing career, and
That's got to,
and he just enjoys singing more. I think it's just kind of more of a. And we don't really think about it as like, oh, the fans like it when you do this or this or that. It's just like that's kind of what we just prefer. That's what it's just more enjoying to sing. It's like screaming is kind of taxing and stuff. And
Do you not find yourself coming under any pressure to replicate the stuff that you did early on because it was successful? Did you not find?
I think we pretty much shot that one down when we followed Ascendancy up with the Crusade, which was completely different.
It was,
we just kind of just do whatever kind of sounds cool to us, and whatever the song really needs. If it needs a scream part, we'll do it. And if there's a thing we can do vocally for singing or something else, it just all depends on what song. In ways we didn't really go into it thinking, we were going to have these songs were just going to be all screaming. It just kind of like made sense with the way the music was for the song. Kind of just it's what the song called for. So it all depends on kind of where we go with that. But I know definitely Matt, from what I've heard, and all the ideas we have, kind of like throwing around concepts and song ideas and stuff for moving forward. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Where it's got it's just a big melting pot of, there's a lot more adding in, some stuff. We have like a demo of a song that's like over 10 minutes long. So there's like a little bit more of the, we've kind of stuck to doing a little bit more straightforward stuff on the last couple records, not getting too over the top, and kind of making it a little easier to digest as far as not going too nuts on the musicianship side of things all the time. But it's always fun to kind of like bring back a little bit of the vibe of, or the thought, or the not really thought process, but the kind of mentality of different records. Shogun was a lot more kind of over the top with a lot of more progressive elements and technicality and longer songs. So I think after playing like Shogun and seeing it's kind of fun playing at least having one song in there that's kind of got that epic kind of thing to it, that it kind of inspires kind of maybe doing something in that vein, but obviously not like copying it, but like having something at that epicness to it. So our back catalog, playing it live definitely gives us kind of ideas, and playing a song and you hear something that you did on that record, you're like, that's kind of like what we did there, and you kind of like think of new ways to kind of take that kind of idea and kind of morph it into like what you're doing now and incorporate it with
when
like
you're taking that inspiration from previous stuff. We don't try to replicate it, but you're leaning on the inspiration from other stuff. Yeah, it's good and incorporate it into the newer sort of feel that you got for the new stuff as well.
Yeah,
excellent. We're here in 2014 already. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Obviously lots of stuff going to be happening for Trivium this year. Anything you particularly looking forward to?
Oh, it's just a lot of touring.
Yeah.
Got a lot of, this year's, definitely got a lot of, really cool tours lined up. Get to go to Australia again after this tour. Going to South Africa for the first time to play Ramfest, which, we've never been there before, so it's always cool to visit, new countries, especially, for being around for as long as we are. There's, finally going into a new place that we've never been and, meeting fans that have been waiting for that long to see us play. So it's always fun when you get to go to somewhere new. So we go there and then, playing Mexico when we get back. And then really cool tour we're doing in the U.S. with Volbeat. So that's going to be a lot of fun, playing a lot of, like U.S. radio festivals, with like Avenged Sevenfold and, on some of them, and like Five Finger Death Punch and Korn, a lot of those type of bands. So those are always kind of fun. And then, festivals again in the summer, playing the Download Festival.
Cool.
So playing the small, tiny stage for kind of. It's cool because we're playing the Red Bull stage this year, the small tent, and we're doing the 2005 Download set.
Oh, cool.
And that tent stage was where we were originally supposed to play before they bumped us up to the main stage.
The main stage, yeah.
So now we're going to do the 2005 Download set where it was originally supposed to be.
That's only 9 years later. It's not too bad, is it really, I suppose?
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite place in the world to play, Corey? Anywhere in particular you think this is where I like to play?
Probably some of the funnest shows we've ever had has been in Japan. There's just a different level of, it's a totally different vibe of, fans from anywhere else.
Yeah, I've heard
it's
that,
just,
yeah.
They headbang in unison, don't they?
Yeah, they're just very very into it, and they, for how long it takes for bands to get over there, since it's quite a long flight, they definitely make it worth it. And plus the whole culture is really awesome, and being able to, go out to eat there and see the cities and stuff, and it's so cool. And then one of my favorite shows we've ever played. We've only played there once ever. Hopefully we'll make it back at some point. But we played in Argentina, and that crowd was just like wearing in-ears where you're hearing all the instruments, but the crowd was singing so loud it was actually bleeding through all the vocal microphones, and I could actually you have to be, because I have everything pretty cranked in my ears, so it's you have to be really loud for me to be able to actually physically hear the crowd, because there's no way I'd hear anything when the music's playing. It's so loud, and like even when we stop playing, it's like it's kind of faint. So it's like if I can actually hear it when we're actually playing, it's really loud. And it's really cool to watch YouTube videos, because it's like, especially in South America, like in between songs they make like they do like soccer chants and like put your name in it, and you're just like we stood on stage in Argentina for like it seemed like 5 minutes, like not even playing, and they just sang the whole time. And it was just like, what the fuck's going on? This is awesome.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you've got stuff to do and all that. I know I'm virtually finished. I don't know. Sarah, you anything to ask Corey?
Just thank you. And you got anything to say to your fans? Final words?
Actually, well, check out the new record if you haven't heard it yet. But keep checking trivium.org and also Facebook and all our social media. We got a new music video debuting any day now. Should have already came out, but we kind of took too long editing it. But new video for No Way to Heal should be coming out, so keep an eye out for that.
Okay, Corey from Trivium. Corey, thank you.
Thanks.